What's going on, everybody? My name is Justin Higgins and welcome to part 2. Today we're going to be drawing Beast from Beauty and the Beast, and I know the movie came out a little bit ago, but I was sick. Yeah, like it was really bad. And I couldn't really draw or do anything. I was just in bed, sick, taking medicine and being horrible. So basically what we're going to be doing today is drawing Beast, and he's going to be sick. He's going to have a thermometer in his mouth, but he's still going to be looking pretty dapper. So let's get into it. What's going on, guys? So what I'm doing right now is I'm blocking in those colors. I'm getting ready to create a mask so that none of the painting that I do goes outside of the line. So how you do that is you hold the Alt button and you click on the layer, and you should see this down arrow, and it basically masks it off so that you don't color outside the lines of the layer that's under it. So it's like a clipping mask, I believe it's called. And I'm using that to block in the main colors, just all flats. I'm not really worried about the detail or the highlights right now. I'm just worried about getting those colors locked in so that I can have a base to start off of. I had to do a little reference to the Beast colors. I was gonna do a different color palette like purples and blues and stuff like that, but I think I'm a big fan of the original Beauty and the Beast, so it just made sense to me to try to stay as true as I can to the form. As you can see here, I lightened it up a little bit. I'm going in for the shadows, and right there they weren't really working for me, so I had to go through a few transitions to block in those shadows and make them look okay. As you can see, like that was like my second attempt. My third attempt, I believe, worked a little bit better, so I just moved on to the highlights. If you're stuck at something, just move on and think about a different way to do it. Right now I'm adding in very light rim light, basically trying to establish where my lighting source is coming from so that I can work with the shadows. I'm pretty sure I'm working backwards in that regard, but I did have it in mind where I wanted the Beast to be, which is like an outside setting, like he's next to a window or something like that, and the sunlight's coming in and it's hitting him. So basically he's looking at the thermometer like, oh man, this sucks, I'm sick. But at the same time he's asking himself, am I really sick, or is Belle just tripping? Like I ain't, like, you know how us men are, like, I ain't really sick, she just a little too crazy with it, got a little sneeze and she want me to go to the hospital. But yeah, he's just looking at the thermometer. I didn't want to add anything crazy like nose running or anything like that, although it might have been funny, I don't know. But yeah, it's just the Beast with a thermometer in his mouth and him questionably looking at it like, I'm a beast, like why do I need this in my mouth? But that's kind of weird. But yeah, I'm back into tightening those lines up. As you can see, I put a little rim light on the nose and the lip because those are the most like wet areas, so I added a little more highlight. Right now I'm working on the teeth. I'm just making sure that these forms read a little bit better than the initial sketch, and how I did that was I went and created an overpainting layer, and just started painting over what I already had initially as a base. So it helped me clean those lines up. So you can basically click the eye next to the layer, and just see where you're at as far as how clean you want that line to be. Because I know a lot of people like a little bit of grunge in their artwork. Me, I like a little bit of grunge, a little bit of unblended corners and stuff like that. So I guess this style that I was going for this particular piece worked for me best. Right now I'm just continuing to clean up these lines and clean up the initial flats and colors and stuff like that. Trying to make those forms turn, keeping in mind that some of them do have like, how do you explain that? Some of these forms do have specular highlights and stuff like that. Like the thermometer is a glass thermometer. It's like one of the super old ones. He lives in an old castle, so I gave him an old ass thermometer. But yeah, it's the glass one. So I'm pretty sure there's a lot of specular highlights on there and stuff like that. So I keep that in mind too. I'm working those shadows over a little bit more, to where they're very light, but they're not as harsh as I'm going to do later. I'm just making sure I'm lining everything up to get it clean so that I can use my layers to create a better setting for my shadows and stuff like that. I took the highlights and I blended them down so they're not like specular highlights as far as like going over on a layer and creating the complete white, but I'm just trying to establish where some stuff is gonna shine and some stuff isn't. I don't want the head to shine because he has fur, so it's not really like a smooth reflective surface. So I have to basically watch my highlights when it comes to different textures and stuff like that. Right now I'm just continuing to clean up, keeping all those things in mind. I say these things because this is what I'm thinking while I'm doing this. A lot of tutorials and trying to get it right and trying to understand and trying to create my own way of doing things and stuff like that. So it's just trial and error. Some of the stuff I'm pretty sure is gonna be okay, and some of the stuff I'm pretty sure I failed at. I'm pretty sure other artists are like, what the hell? Well, why are they doing that? But oh, amateurs. Too much Dave Chappelle. Yeah, right now I'm pretty sure previously you saw that the screen went black and white. What I did was I am checking my values. So what I did was I put a layer on top of everything and I set that layer to color, and once you click that layer on, it'll turn everything black and white so that you can see how dark your shadows are and how light your highlights are, I guess. I'm probably using the term wrong as far as highlights go. I'm pretty sure it's like the lighter parts of whatever texture you're using or whatever texture you're going for. I'm still working on my terms. It's a lot of growing and learning. Right now I'm doing the rim light right now, further establishing where the light is coming from, so that I can get ready to add that sunlight in there and make it all warm and toasty. It's like British, warm and toasty. No, that wasn't a British accent, was it? No. Bloody warm and toasty. I'm sorry to all the people who are watching from from Britain or the UK. I'm very not well traveled. So what I did is I took the background, made it a blue color because it represents the sky and stuff like that. A lot more pleasant to the eye instead of the harsh white that was in back of him. I gave him a bunch of highlights, and right now you saw me add in the sunlight and stuff like that. I used 3 layers. I used the color dodge, and I used the hard light, and I used the regular soft brush layer. The hard light it represents the bloom. Thank you K&KL for teaching me the bloom technique. I probably overdid it in this, but I had way too much fun using it, and I need to learn how to not overdo it, because he said he will find me if I overdo the bloom tool, so I'm hoping that he doesn't. But yeah, pretty much I added in I don't even know what that's called. It's like his get up or whatever. It's like is it a suit? I added in the suit because my girl was like, you can't just put the head in there. You gotta make him look dapper. Yeah, he's sick, but he's not dead, you know? Like, and I was like, all right, I get it. Yeah, you right. So basically what I did was I just added the suit in, and then closer to what I'm doing now is just doing the same thing, tightening up the line work and stuff like that, trying to block in the colors. I use the same method. I use the colors to lock it down, and now I'm adding the highlights. And now what you just saw me do is bring in another texture. I know this isn't the original design, but I thought it would look cool, like a smoker jacket or something like that. I thought it would look really distinguished. So what I'm doing now is I'm adding stuff onto his lapel to complement it. I didn't want to put too much detail, but to add to that, I gave it a little highlight to make it look like it's a part of the actual lapel and the light is catching it. So what I'm doing now is using that same 3 technique on the side, the bloom, the color dodge, and the highlights. I'm pretty sure I did a little bit too much on there, so I ended up taking it back and stuff like that. So that's the end of the video, and I hope you guys dug everything, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care.